Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Highlander 2, 1990, released in the US and UK in 1991. Producers made two mistakes. First one being, gee, we can save money if we shoot this in Argentina. Oops, there's hyperinflation. Better get the Bond company to do all the editing. Go over budget and then break even, which is remarkable considering how much bad publicity this movie got. People still went out in droves and saw it. So this is supposed to be a sequel to the first Highlander movie, although it pissed off the Highlander fans because in the first version of the movie, The Quickening, it completely contradicts the plot of the first movie, which implies that both Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert are from Scotland. That's how they got their immortality, hence the name Highlanders. But in the second movie, they come from the planet Zeist or something. And even the director's cut, the Renegade version, which I watched, had a reference to the actor who played the Zeist judge, who appears nowhere in the Renegade cut, but is listed in the rolling credits. So I guess after all the bad publicity this movie got, the director felt bad and he redid everything, called it the Renegade version instead of the Quickening. The Quickening has a worse reputation, of course, because it has that whole aliens from outer space subplot. Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery get kicked off their planet by Michael Ironside as a sort of punishment. So the movie's about... I forgot to mention the second mistake the producers made. They predicted that the ozone layer was going to disappear in 1999. Guess what? It never happened, just like Paul Ehrlich's population bomb never happened. Anyways, all these people in 1999 are dying from sun radiation because the ozone layer is completely gone. There's nothing to protect them. For some reason, Christopher Lambert isn't affected by it, but he decides to build, since he's immortal and he can never die, he decides to build some kind of shield to protect everybody from the sun rays. For some reason, the company comes in, the corporation that is beaming this shield up is run by some evil corporate guy. Don't ask me how he got that position, but anyways. 25 years into the future, this evil corporate guy is running the beam that's protecting the planet. There's some kind of environmentalist terrorist that tries to infiltrate and succeeds in infiltrating the compound where the beam is going up. Michael Ironside gets mad that Christopher Lambert is still alive. So he sends two of his goons, pretty cool looking goons, to kill Christopher Lambert. And the only way to kill the bad guys in this movie is to chop their heads off with a sword. which is what I don't understand is why do they engage in sword play in the first place? It's kind of like Star Wars lightsabers. Can't they just use ray guns or something? Or just guns in general? No, they have to use sword play to make it more dramatic. And probably the producers are anti-gun too, in addition to being mesmerized by all this global warming hype. So Christopher Lambert falls in love with the environmentalist terrorist babe, who's in some pretty good flicks. Besides this flick, Michael Ironside was kind of boring. He just kind of grunts and does his evil cackling laugh and walks around, and I don't know, he turns a train up to 600 miles an hour. How can he do that? Not very realistic. So there are a couple of sword fight scenes. The editing is choppy. One moment, Christopher Lambert gets blown up. The next moment, he's talking to his environmentalist terrorist girlfriend. The part didn't really make sense. Sean Connery comes back to help his friend. I guess they're a team now. Christopher Lambert looks much younger after chopping off the first guy's head. It gives him energy or something, makes him immortal again. Whatever that means. It's all very confusing. So the Renegade version has 108 minutes. It doesn't have the Zeiss planet scenes. The only way you can watch that version is to get the quickening on VHS or Japanese DVD. That's my understanding. It's not available on Netflix. So I guess Christopher Lambert has a couple things going on, a couple of side plots. Number one, he wants to shut off his beam that he created because apparently the ozone layer fixed itself. Not sure how that happened. Anyways, he's also trying to battle Michael Ironside to retain his immortality, I guess. Those sword fights. And I guess the whole Zeiss alien thing that contradicted the Scotland plot in the previous movie went away, except for the mention of Zeiss actor and the rolling credit. Anyway, I fucking hated this piece of shit. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. If the quickening is worse than this, then I'll give the quickening half a star or 0.25 star. This has a reputation for being one of the worst sequels ever. Although Exorcist 2, The Heretic was pretty bad. I don't know if it's the worst ever. But it's probably one of the top 2 worst ever. I've never seen the first Highlander, so I can't really say for sure. But judging by the criticism, I'd say it's in the top 2. Worst sequels ever. And that's why I wanted to see it. I knew I wasn't going to get The Quickening, which is kind of disappointing. You're going to rate worst movies ever. You want to see The Quickening, not this version, the 108-minute director's cut. So that's about it. I hated this flick. I wouldn't recommend it. It's got the cool looking sets though. Reminds you of Blade Runner or Dark City. The Sean Connery actor, the Sean Connery dude, whatever his name is, Ramirez. Gee, that doesn't sound very Scottish. Ramirez. He was pretty bad. He reminded me of Zardos. But at least Zardos was so bad that it was good. It was unintentionally funny. I mean, so Sean Connery's been a couple of stink bombs, Zardos and this one. Although I love the Zardos stink bomb. I thought that was a great flick. John Boorman is my one of my favorite actors. He did Excalibur too. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about this movie. You notice I'm wearing a dress shirt. I went to a couple of interviews. First one being at Accountemps. Now they gave me the same bullshit they gave me a few years ago. That I'm not qualified. I don't know VLOOKUPs this time. I don't know pivot tables. Some 20-year-old Asian babe is telling me this in San Francisco. So I go, yeah, whatever. I'll retake the test. Instead of 44%, I got 72%. But I still don't know VLOOKUPs and pivot tables. Okay. I'm not going to fucking take this test a third time. Just because every single accountant nowadays has to know VLOOKUP and pivot table. My ex-wife is a CPA who makes, $13,000 a month. I doubt if she knows VLOOKUP or a pivot table for that matter. So I wore this dress shirt. I got free parking. Fortunately, my appointment was 8 o'clock. So I parked on Washington Street, walked to my old stomping grounds, 50 California, where I had worked for them back in 1998. And things have changed. Anyways, I was glad I got free parking. I didn't have to take that smelling like piss BART train because I was running late. I just decided I was going to drive there and test my luck with parking. Fortunately, I got there at 7:30 when there were still some parking spaces and I didn't have to pay till 9. I got out of there at 8:30. Then I went to some retail marketing place, where they do events to promote brand names, in this case, Comcast. That was kind of surprising me. I thought I know Comcast had some guys doing it in Best Buy. I guess not too many people go to Best Buy anymore, so I wonder where they're going to do it now in Tanforan Mall. There's a young-looking Asian babe in tight dress who interviewed me. Anyways, she was hot. I couldn't answer her questions. The hell just popped up on my screen? Downloads.youtube, what? Downloads.yahoo.com? What the hell is that? Anyways, man, she said she was going to call me in a couple days. I hope she's going to call me, tell me I didn't get the job, but she wants to go on a coffee date or some. Yeah, in my dreams, right? Job probably pays minimum wage, and then commissions on top, kind of like those Best Buy guys. So Comcast is going to try something different, outsource the marketing to Tanfran Mall or some shit. I guess I'll find out in a couple days. It's the only way for me to get a quick job instead of going through all these bullshit interviews. Anyways, enough about job searching. As you can tell, I'm unemployed. Got laid off on Friday. Or at least so they say. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, that's the end of my movie review. Yeah, I just couldn't get into this flick. Like most of the movies I've been watching. Garbage Pail Kids, TM movie. Or is it R? This is R. And the Monkey Hustle sucked. Prison Girls sucked. But now I'm back to watching DVDs. Some Japanese dude recommended that I should see The Story of O Part 2. So I watched the beginning and it made me feel dirty, like, oh, these two strangers are fondling each other in the elevator. Must be a Radley Metzger flick. Anyways, yeah, I'll finish watching The Story of O Part 2. This Japanese guy started posting comments on the Sexual Story of O movie review, which was Jess Franco fake sequel, just like The Story of O Part 2 is a fake sequel. It was actually part of the first book that got deleted by the publishers. And they made it very long, drawn-out, slow-moving pretend sequel to The Story of O, which was directed by the director of Emmanuel. Anyways, not a great flick. The beginning kind of pissed me off with all the ozone, climate change, global warming, propaganda crap. The story didn't really make sense. Why is Michael Ironside punishing Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery? Oh, because they rebelled against the evil empire, kind of like Star Wars plot or something. I don't know. But wherever Michael Ironside. Oh, now I get how they edited the Renegade version. All right, so the religious guys who are on Iron Michael's side, I guess they're called judges. That's the guy in the rolling credits. They are on the planet Zeist, but it's not explained in the director's cut. You just think they're part of Scotland or some shit. It's all very confusing. But it takes place in a dark cave or some kind of Battlestar Galactica type of machine ship. I don't know. So that part was still left in the sequel. Kind of an inconsistent plot design there. But at least they didn't mention that they got booted off from the planet, or that they're aliens. So I guess they cut those parts out and they saved the rest. Still doesn't make sense though. Anyways, it was nice that the director tried to redeem himself, but unfortunately now we can't watch The Quickening because on VHS. I don't have a VHS player anymore. My mom has one, but I hardly go there maybe a few times a year. Plus, how do you buy a VHS nowadays? You got to buy it on eBay or Amazon. Taking a risk with the quality by doing so, the quality of the VHS tape, which has probably deteriorated over the years. Anyways, enough about the movie, enough about my job search. I try to get a couple interviews a day, maybe 3 interviews a day. But then I got to deal with all this divorce crap stuff and trying to figure out what my former employer was up to by getting rid of me. Yeah, that's going to be lots of fun. Anyways, I got this dental appointment on September 2nd. I've got to go to DMV on Monday. A couple of divorce hearings. Yeah. Next 2 weeks are going to be hell. And I still haven't done all this crap that I'm supposed to do. I'm taking care of my retirement paperwork with the Quadro lawyers, whatever. Oh, my life is so complicated and mixed up. No wonder I can't get a steady date. Even on OkCupid. Oh, just like my grandmother said, nobody told me life was going to be really easy. So they just roll with the punches. By the way, my grandmother had skin cancer, but it wasn't as bad as the people in this movie. She lived to be like 80-something, 85 or something. She just kept going in for surgery over and over again. What's the cost of fortune? Even back in the 80s, man, surgery was expensive. But nevertheless, I paid for her funeral. Neither my mom nor my uncle were willing to pay for it. So guess who got stuck with the bill? She tried to get life insurance right before she died. But I told her, don't spend your money. I'll pay for it. So she said, okay. And sure enough, I paid for it. I kept my promise. Although I don't know if she went to heaven, if she hated God so much after my grandfather died. Well, I was the same way, I guess. I kind of fell into that camp for a while. So I'm trying to seek redemption as I'm going through these midlife crises, so to speak. Shouldn't take me too long to find a job, though. Might not pay much, but if I get to work with that lady, man, I'm not complaining. If I can't get any hot dates, at least I can work with her. She doesn't even wash her hair. You can tell her hair is kind of greasy. You know, it's got that greasy Chinese woman look. I wonder if she's Chinese. Interesting person to work for, no doubt. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I got another couple interviews tomorrow. I'll try to review Battlefield Earth, which is a popular movie to trash, kind of like The Room. I'm probably going to hate that one too, but just because it's a Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard science fiction crappy book. So that's the next one I'm going to watch probably. Then I'll finish watching the story of O Part 2, which is pretty boring, actually. Um, so that's about it. I'll probably finish watching those two this weekend, seeing as how tomorrow's Thursday. I've got so much shit to do. 2 interviews plus 2 hours timeshare with my son, trying to teach him phonics and beginning math. Just hard for him, but see how that goes. I'm watching the Quickening 2 bonus features. The producers are so proud of themselves, patting them on the back. Well, Christopher Lambert liked the story. Oh, we didn't have to make uh, a sequel just for the sake of making a sequel. Give me a break. Even after the director tried to clean up the cut that the bondholders made on this movie, you see, they had to stop shooting early. That's why there's a lack of continuity, and the story doesn't make sense. So the director tried the best that he could to find a redemption, to redeem himself. Still wasn't good enough, in my opinion. It still sucked the big dick. So skip it later.